All right, now a little bit of Kabbalah here. 1 second. Just one moment. All right. What? What's the difference? Okay. You should also have writing on it. You do? Good. Yes. Good. So God took out the Jews from Egypt, and that was for their benefit. And that's been the history of the Jews since then. The Jews have been wandering around. It says that it's somehow or other to their benefit. And that was what happened to the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, that he stood against the communist government. And in the end, he won. Now, I think it's important to understand that the communist government, these people didn't think they were doing anything bad. Exactly the opposite. The communist government was the ultimate, or so they thought, the ultimate good to the world. Their conscience told them that it was bad to have money. Young children turned in their parents because their parents were hiding money in the mattress or something. People turned in friends. Here you see that the people who put the Rebbe into prison and even beat him, some of them were people that the Rebbe had given loans to, free loans, to start businesses and to just helping people out. And they really truly believed that they were doing the best thing possible. The best thing to rid the world of God, to rid the people who should live normal lives, and that there shouldn't be any more class oppression, and that people should be dissatisfied with their plight, economic plight, and move up. Okay, I guess maybe one of the signs when they knew they were wrong was that they when they went against their own principles. I guess that's the thing. Because as soon as anybody became dissatisfied with communism, they killed them. So dissatisfaction was a good thing as long as it led to communism. But if anybody was dissatisfied with the lack of fulfilling of promises of communism, they promised all these wonderful things, they didn't come across with anything, then they would get killed. So you couldn't, I guess that was one of the signs that they were really truly evil. But nevertheless, they really thought that they were the ultimate good in the world, and they were doing away with all of the evil in the world. And somehow or other, the previous Rebbe had the power to stand against them. And he wasn't saying anything negative. He wasn't saying that we have to knock down communism. It's wrong. He just said we have to teach children Torah. That people have to have at least the option to believe in the God of the Jews, creator of the universe.
I don't think it is that far away. So much of Torah, learning, right and wrong. I mean, you see it today. I don't really get, I mean, even the Nazis thought they were doing the right thing.
Right.
How do you get that far?
Well, listen, I don't think it's that far away, for instance. I don't personally think it's that far away. Man, it's a mentality, but people are born with that mentality. It's called, in English, it's called selfishness. It's called, so what is a person willing to do to protect his self, to further himself? Right? You have whole seminars, huge religions are just based on yourself. What's going to happen to you after you die? You have any idea? No, we know. You're worried, right? Yeah, I'm worried. Well, we'll take away your worries. Don't worry about it. You trust here, you know, no more worries. In other words, fear. Fear. People have their own sense of being, and they have fear. They're afraid, right? A baby is born. As soon as he has a sense of cognizance or whatever it is, then he's afraid that something's going to happen to him. And things will happen to him. If he doesn't get his food, he's going to die. If he doesn't get protection, he's going to die. If he doesn't, right? Emotionally, if he doesn't have some sort of love, he could scar him for life. Who knows, right? So people really are born very fragile.
Do you think it's in any way connected to the way that some ardent what he wanted to do.
Right.
Without any...
Hardening his heart really means just giving him courage, motivation. There's people who spend a lot of money going to these big, huge seminars about, do it your way, and I am, and, Scientology, and all these things, just to trust yourself and rely on yourself and listen to your inner messages, and, don't let anything in the world stop you, and I can, and I will, and I am, and I think, and I know, and I... Right? And all of a sudden you come along with a God that says, you can't, don't do that. Don't think what you want. Who needs it? Who needs a thing like that? So all of a sudden you get a person. Usually the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that in the end, what really triggers off anti-Semitism and all these things is money. It was when people are poor and they see that they can't bring money home, right? And they haven't got a job. So they have no purpose. They're empty. So comes along a charismatic person and he feels that emptiness. He feels that fear. Right? He feels that, especially fear. Fear is a big one.
They're going to hit something.
Right.
They're blame something.
Right.
So they would blame God. I guess his problem.
Okay, now Judaism is really not, can be not any different than that. It's also just fulfilling people's basic fears and basic this and that. The point we want to say with Judaism, though, is that it's true, and the others are not true. The others are man-made, and this God himself gave in front of 3 million witnesses. And the idea of Judaism is sort of the opposite of all the other religions, and that is increased responsibility. That you are responsible for everything. No one can take away your responsibility. Right? It can't be this person has suffered for you and this person, so you're not responsible anymore. You just believe in him, he'll take you. He'll write on him. He's the train to heaven.
Stay away.
Right? Just, people get ready, there's a train coming. Just get on and you're in. So Judaism is increased responsibility. That you are totally responsible for your actions, and you are totally, there's mitigating circumstances, there's things, ignorance, and but still you have to take yourself into control. You have a portion in the world that only you can fix up. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. Right? There are commandments you have to do, etc. Okay, let's go further. So that's what it means that it is out. Now with these ideas, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe stood against communism. And this was 1927. 1927, communism was the most promising, powerful movement, inspiring movement in the world. It was just purely good. Purely good. I don't think, I'm not that expert in this, but I don't think that Stalin began his big purges in those days. Right? In those days there was, to stand against communism was just pure. It was immoral, huh? Unthought of, but it was an immoral thing to do. Communism was coming. It was a political movement, and it became a social movement, and it was an economic movement, and included everything together. Let me just ask these fellows to be quiet.